Hello, my name is Magdalene. I guess you probably know that since you're watching this on my Instagram account. I have an art business called Gifts of Creation. I'm a full-time speech pathologist and I'm aspiring to make art a bigger part of my life for personal reasons. I get a lot out of my art. It's therapy for me and I really enjoy being creative. It helps me process my job and stress and hard things. And so even though I worked all day today out of town and I'm in this really cute Airbnb, I brought my art supplies. My daily intention is to do art every day, and I don't do that, but I'm trying. And I do a lot of art. I make a lot of art. People comment on, wow, you're so prolific, and I always just feel like I never make enough because I'm thinking about it all the time. But I was tired and I just said, I don't care. I'm gonna turn off the TV and I'm gonna get over here to this table and do something creative. So last night I did watched a couple of YouTube videos and I did jelly plate printing. My goal was I wanted to learn how to do image transfers on jelly plate, so I watched 2 or 3 different ones. Anyway, this is one thing I came up with. And so if the image transfer from, like, say, a magazine picture didn't turn out, I just did some other things to it. So these are papers that I could use for collage on some of my artwork. I like to do mixed media. This is one I really like. It has the word juxtaposition at the bottom, which just happened to be on a magazine page that I tore out of a holiday magazine I got in winter 2020, December 2020. And this was in my bag. I just have a bag of stuff I grabbed to bring here. And when I picked it up and I started to print it on the jelly plate, I realized, oh, I just met the owner of a shop in Camas, Washington called Juxtaposition, and I'm going to be doing a pop-up art show there July 15th. So I don't know, it's just kind of a weird coincidence. Anyway, that word came out and some of the other stuff on the page didn't come out, so I just printed some random colors. I guess last night I was in the mood for this pink and turquoise and green and white and black, and I kind of like that. I'm gonna do some more to this and thinking about maybe adding gold. And here's another one that I did, and then here's another one that has pink and black on it. This one has like a little stenciling design that I did on the jelly plate. And you know, they said on YouTube that the whole image transfer thing is hard and may not work out. But these are just some of the fun paper jelly prints that I made. I like this one. I was kind of thinking this might be like a messy vase for a bouquet. A bouquet that I print on a canvas. This one too could be the vase or the container for the flowers. I really like the way this one turned out. It was a piece of scrapbook paper that had a little bit of writing and numbers on it, and I just kept doing jelly plate printing on top of this one, and I like it. This one surprised me. It had a little black and white typewriter, and so part of that came out and part of the letters came out on top. And I think this would be a really cool collage element and something. But the one that did come out was this one. I don't know how or why. It's like it was an accident. But I just put some, I guess it was just the right consistency of black acrylic paint on the jelly plate and a magazine photo. And then I left the imprint on the jelly plate and put some white acrylic paint before I did this print, and that's how come it's got a little bit of white in it too. But that's the one that worked. I'll have to keep experimenting. That's part of the creative practice. I've been following Artsy Orange, and she's talking about her daily creative practice, and sometimes it's experimenting. So that's what I was doing last night. Wasn't trying to make anything specific, just experimenting with the jelly plate, experimenting with these different colors, and you know, just having fun. So tonight I have a painting that I made last weekend. It's part of my Spirit Moves series, and you can see the other two. Let me see if I can move my camera. You can see the other two up there on the wall. That's Dance and Worship. This one's called, oh, see, I painted it this way. It's called Rejoice. So I just did this black mark, and I think there's another video you can see on the Lima Fiallo's Instagram. I'll probably put it on Gifts of Creation too, that shows this as a white canvas with just the black figure, and then I did a speed video of me painting it. But this is this one, and I painted them. I thought they would go really good together as a set, but I wasn't gonna have a rule about that they had to go as a set. And I put them on Facebook, and a friend of mine that I work with here in this place wanted this one. So when I do sell a painting, I have to do a little bit of stuff to it. I have to touch up the edges, make sure that the black is nice, you know, clean and crisp. And then when that dries, which is like 10, 15 minutes, I'm gonna put some gloss varnish on it, which will protect it and let the colors really pop and shine. And then I also like to write on the back of my canvas, and especially this one, since I found out by accidentally holding it just like I did a minute ago, it can work this way too. And this one I decided could be called Trust. So like you just fall backwards and you just trust that God is gonna catch you. So that takes faith, and you have to just fall back and trust sometimes when your future is uncertain and you can't be in control of everything, right? You can't control everything. You can control some things, like the Serenity Prayer. Lord, give me the, I'm tired, I don't know if I can remember this. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things that I can. Give me the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So when you cannot change something, you have to trust God, and you have to just keep moving forward in faith and joyfully. So the person who bought this, I was telling her that it was quite an accident that I found out that the painting can go either way, and I think it's so fun. This was very intuitive when I painted these black just kind of movement figures. I didn't have a plan or anything. I was painting intuitively with the black paintbrush, and same with this one. And I love that when I paint from my heart. That's what I've been really working on, trying not to contrive and control and have rules about how a painting is going to turn out. That's why I got away from commissions, because, you know, I mean, sometimes commissions can really open the door to creativity, because you can do a commission and someone can say, I just want it to be the mountains, I want it to be a sunset, you know, and kind of gives you some freedom. Other times they give you a picture and they want you to copy the picture. And anyway, same with pet portraits. It can be fun and it's joyful to give that person a remembrance of their pet. But I just needed to move on to this place of exploration because I was stuck last year. And I took Kelly Day's Transform Your Art mentorship program. And that really, really has helped me move past some of these blocks and given me the courage to say no to the commissions. After all, I have a full-time job. I'm not a full-time artist. I don't depend on art for my income, for my livelihood. So why shouldn't I explore my art and experiment? And if I'm always doing commissions, I don't have time to do that work and really find out what the gift of art is about, you know. And I think if we all realize that we have passions, and it's really not that I just was born with this gift to be creative. It's more like God put it in my heart to want to be creative, to want to paint, to want to make something beautiful. That's the gift. And then trusting Him to help me do that, you know, and to learn. I really think everybody's brain is amazing, and we don't use even 90% of the capacity that we have. And probably every single human being could be some kind of an artist. But what the gifting is that, and that calling is that desire, that passion that you have to sing or to dance or to paint or to be an engineer and design projects, or to cook fabulous meals for people, or to make your home a wonderful, hospitable place like this Airbnb. And, you know, there's just, you can't do everything. So God gives you like the desire and the passion and the will to do the thing He's calling you to do. And then, you know, I love that saying, He doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. And I really wish I knew who said that originally. It's not in the Bible. But you answer that call that's in your heart, and then God equips you to do the work, whatever it is. I mean, art, music, design, cooking, teaching, everything is a gift. And it's God's gift to us and to other people. So anyway, I'm going to just be with you guys tonight. Maybe one person will watch this, maybe two people will watch it. It doesn't matter. I'm sharing myself on Instagram. I'm sharing my process, and I'm being creative, and I don't feel quite so alone because I know somebody is going to watch this. I'm not doing this live. I should, like She Paints does. She inspires me, Kristen Calhoun, but maybe I'll get the courage after I tape this and show it around on my Instagram accounts, and people like it. Maybe I'll do a live, but right now it's just me and whoever tunes into this, because it's going to be long. Well, longer than the 2 minutes that most people have the attention to. If you've gotten this far, then you really like art. Okay, so I have, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. Oh, wow, that black looks really glossy and almost like a different color, but it's actually black. So I'm gonna clean up that white spot right there. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this one. And I'm going to clean up this. Okay. It already looks better. Right? I do crazy stuff when I paint. I'm not like a super picky perfectionist, so sometimes I just drop things. Sometimes I spill things, so I'm not gonna freak out if that happens. I'm not doing this on, you know, some platform where you paid. See, that's what I'm talking about. I do that stuff all the time, and nothing explodes and the world doesn't end. I don't worry about it. You know, I think that's a skill, that's like a life skill, is to just go with the flow, not get all bent out of shape and crazy when, you know, things don't go perfectly as planned. That, you know, being a control freak and a perfectionist, that kills creativity right there. It kills it. I've been in art classes like a long time ago where, you know, there's this art teacher up at the front, and she's like prim and proper, and she's telling you have to hold your brush like this, and you have to paint like this, and your stroke has to be like whatever, or like this. I don't know. It's crazy. I can never do those kind of art classes, and they just made me nervous, and I was sad that I had paid, but went anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this up. My favorite was when I started taking online classes back in, probably 2008, when I first started my Etsy store. I started taking online classes with YN. Oh my goodness. She just was the one that introduced me to like just the love of art and playing, and I think the name of the course I took from her was actually called Art Play. I took a couple of online courses from her, and I got to meet her in person because I lived in Fernandina Beach, and that's where she was then, at I think it was called the Blue Door Artist Studios. Okay, so I've touched up the edges of this. I've always done that tongue to the side of my mouth when I'm trying to concentrate. It's funny. Sometimes I don't have a plan. Like, I'm gonna put this down on this paper, but my palette's right here, so move some things over. I'm not at home, so I'm very careful with all of this stuff around here. So I'm really, really focusing on being neat, not because I'm trying to be perfect. And I have this little candle burning. I got it at Juxtaposition the other night on their pop-up. She had a pop-up night, and she had Isabel Blackwell was there selling her handmade serums and candles, and wow, this looks so pretty. I have to show you guys what this is doing. It's like really beautiful. I don't know how to explain what this is doing in here. Can you see that oil or wax like right around the flame? It's kind of mesmerizing. Like Kristen says, shiny objects. I'm trying to videotape myself, and I got anyway. So I'm back. Now I'm going to be varnishing this. So I need my big brush and some gloss varnish right here, and I just pour it on. That's what I do. So I'm just gonna pour it on the surface here and start showing you guys. don't shake your gloss varnish. Why? Because then it comes out with bubbles on it. I did that the other night to a painting. And it dried with the bubbles on the varnish. So luckily it was a painting that had a lot of texture on it. So the bubbles, I actually, in the worst places, went back over it with some paint to kind of hide the fact that they were bubbles. But I'd rather just not have to do that. So on this one, did not shake it. I just lightly poured it out. And now I'm varnishing. I'm using, oh my gosh, look at that really fat finger. This is Basics from Liquitex Basics Gloss Varnish to use with acrylic paint. You can see how glossy it is. Well, it's wet right now, but it actually dries very shiny. Like that. I just like pouring it right on, because if you pour it like on a plate or a palette paper or something like that, you waste it, and this stuff is not cheap. I'm just going to tell you right now. These Liquitex professional products, they're not cheap. So I just don't want to waste it. And I just pour it on here. Skip the whole palette thing. Try to do it fairly quickly. You can look at it. I look at it in the light so I can see where I've missed any glossy areas that are not shiny, or the ones I've missed. Or if it's pooling anywhere. Yeah, we don't want it to pool on the edges. Let's wipe that down. Yes, I'm gonna put this on the edge. Dries pretty quickly, so I'm not going to be doing this much longer. Just going to make sure it's kind of on the edges. And I'm going to let this dry. And depending on how much gloss you want, I mean, one coat gives it a nice gloss and some protection. If you just want it to really have a lot of shine and extra protection, then you could put 2 coats. The directions say, used to protect the finished painting. Gloss varnish may be mixed with matte varnish to vary the finish. Dries to a non-yellowing finish. Doesn't really give directions. How about that? Okay. So, I'm just going to take a look, make sure everything was covered, make sure there's no globs, because if it dries in a glob, then that's what you have. You can't get it off, a hard glob. So, we don't want that. We want that on the edges of our beautiful painting. Okay, this is so exciting. And I just can't believe that the first day, this rejoicing girl, she's not a girl, she's a figure. She could be a boy. She could be anybody. She could be a child, an adult. That's what I love about her, about this. It's just a person. It's just a figure. Look how shiny that is. Okay, so